own Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Another beautiful day at Rogers Center on this Canada Day weekend. Philadelphia Phillies will wrap up this portion of interleague play 2011. They won their game last night. Ryan Howard delivered a clutch hit late in the ball game, a two-run single in the ninth inning. Roy Halladay has been welcomed back all weekend long. Yesterday, he had a little different look on his face. A little bit more relaxed today. He's got that patented Halladay game face on. Take a look at the Phillies lineup for Charlie Manuel. We mentioned they won 7-6 yesterday, timed out 11 hits against the Blue Jays. They're currently 4 games ahead of the Atlanta Braves. Jimmy Rollins is back at shortstop today. That shoulder's been bothering him. That's the first time he was the DH in yesterday's game. Polanco, Utley, Howard, Shane Victorino. Big game for him yesterday with the bat. Ibanez returns to left. Dominic Brown's in right. Ross Grote is the first baseman, and Carlos Ruiz is behind the plate.
Middle of the lineup did a lot of damage against the Blue Jays yesterday, so Carlos Villanueva will try and stop that as he takes his 5-1 record to the mound for his 8th start of the season. Club is 6-1 in his starts, 11-9 in games he has appeared in. Allowed 2 runs, 6 innings his last time out against the Cardinals. So
first pitch up and away.
Villanueva has impressed everybody with the way that he has taken the reins in the starting rotation and really gotten the Blue Jays deep into ball games.
Jimmy Rollins. 2 balls and no strikes. Mentioned Rollins. He's had some trouble with his right shoulder. It's caused him problems throwing, but yesterday he was the DH, got the day off. Said he's good to go this afternoon.
Charlie Manuel wanting to get these regulars off their feet was the way that he described it yesterday, getting Rollins off his feet for a day.
Change up downstairs. It's 3-1. The Phillies will wrap up the series tomorrow. Then they'll head to Florida. Play a 3-game series against the Marlins. They'll have Thursday off and finish up the first half at home against the Braves. Interesting series there. 3-1. Jimmy Rollins takes the leadoff walk.
Defensively for the Blue Jays this afternoon, it's been an adventure the last couple of days in the outfield. Patterson, Davis, and Thames will be out there this afternoon. Johnny Mack will get the start at shortstop with the injury to Yuno Escobar. We're hoping to see him tomorrow, more likely on Monday. He'll be teamed with Aaron Hill in the middle of the lineup, Bautista Lind on the corners, and J.P. Arcega behind the plate this afternoon.
Placido Polanco with Rollins a threat to steal. There he goes. Pitches up. Throw to second base late. Jimmy Rollins steals another. He's 17 for 18. The Phillies are the best stolen base percentage club in baseball.
Yeah, they get good jumps. They get good reads off of the pitcher. Not wasting any time against Villanueva. That one right away. Picks up that front leg. It's a high leg kick. So Rollins, you see, with his head down, right into second base with that 17th stolen base.
5 straight base stealers have run against Villanueva. He is yet to have a base stealer caught while he's on the mound. Got to find the strike zone. This is a veteran ball club. You pitch behind, they'll wear you out.
They lead the league in walks. They don't strike out a lot. Surprising with all the good power hitters that they have in the middle of that lineup that they do not strike out. They will put the ball in play.
Villanueva having trouble getting that ball down. It's not been a problem for Carlos all year long. He has had exceptional control. You look at his log as starters, he's barely had trouble with the walks. The most he's walked in one game has been 2.
He is just 17 all season long in his 65 2/3 innings. That really hasn't been a problem. But today, just getting his feel here in the first inning.
The problems are behind Polanco, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard. You can see Polanco really understands what his role is on this team. We saw him yesterday take a 3-1 fastball for a strike, just trying to get on base.
Leading off the 9th inning, he knows what his job is and what his strengths are, what he's trying to do. Now 3-1. He'll be looking for a pitch out over the plate where he can hit to the right side. Not just make it out over there. Try and drive the run in, but get it to the right side.
Back-to-back walks.
Well, we have a minute. Carlos Villanueva's scouting report is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He's a heady pitcher, very smart. He can find those weaknesses in the batter and then go ahead and attack it with all his pitches. Use your defense. He's not really a strikeout pitcher, so this afternoon he's going to have to rely on his defense, and he's got a great changeup. One of the more impressive pitches that I've seen from Villanueva this year is that changeup, and he'll throw it to anybody at any time.
Chase Utley steps in with a .287 average. Utley is 0 for 7 against Carlos Villanueva. I'm sure that changeup had a lot to do with that offer. First and second, nobody out. Goes after the first pitch. How much does it help Utley that the first two batters saw a lot of pitches against Villanueva?
Well, he knows as a number 3 hitter, he is there to drive in runs. He's got confidence against the right hitter in Villanueva. And his thinking is, well, he's walked the first 2 batters. I got to jump ahead with the first pitch fastball. Utley's swing looked like he was going to try and score both of them with just one swing of the bat.
Off-speed pitch pulled foul. Villanueva's ahead of Utley. We have seen Villanueva pitch very well as a starter, and you're right about his ability to make adjustments course of the ball game. He reads bats very well, something we talked about the last couple of days, where he will watch what Utley's doing and then make judgments as to how he wants to attack him.
And he can do that because he's got so many different types of pitches that he can use, and he's got a feel for pitching also. If his changeup is working, you'll see him use that a lot. If his curveball is working really well that day, he'll use that.
Villanueva has an extra day's rest. They wanted him to be limited to 2 starts before the All-Star break. This one or one more, aware that he hasn't started much in the past. Got it. Chase Utley now 0 for 8 against Villanueva, first out of the ball game.
And there he goes, right to that weaponry that he possesses. Strike 2, he'll go to the curveball and get it underneath the bat of Chase Utley. Throw that one out of the strike zone. It was actually tipped and held on to by J.P. Arancibia. So a big first out.
Ryan Howard had the decisive hit in the game yesterday, a 2-run single in the 9th inning. Blue Jays had a 1-run lead going into the top of the 9th, and the Phillies stole the ball game from them. 1 out. Jimmy Rollins has been jockeying for a big lead at second throughout that last at bat, and now with Howard, he's edging off further and further.
And John McDonald trying to get the attention of both the pitcher and the catcher that, hey, be aware of this guy down here. Don't be afraid to put a pickoff play on.
McDonald timed it perfectly, but Villanueva was a little late and just decided to step off. .257 average, but look at the production. 17 and 66 for Howard. Inside. Villanueva spent time with the Milwaukee Brewers, so these Phillies have seen him in the past. Most of the time he worked out of the bullpen for Milwaukee.
He has pitched against them 11 times out of the bullpen, but just little bits and pieces of them. His ERA in his career is just over 1.
Jimmy Rollins has a pretty comfortable lead at second. We mentioned the Phillies. 86.2% success rate on the bases. They just don't get thrown out much.
$70 to 75% is very good. If you can do that as a team, But the Phillies have worked very hard over the years. You mentioned it yesterday. Davey Lopes was their first base coach. He is no longer here. And he had the ability to pick up little things that the pitcher might give you to tip you off of when he is going home or when he is going to try and throw over to first base. And it's really given him a good mindset.
I tell you what, in my estimation, Jimmy Rollins has had 3 or 4 times he could have taken third in this at bat.
And now's the time to put the pickoff play on right here. John McDonald, I can see him trying to get the attention of J.P. Arancibia to trying to flash him the open glove. He's got to wait until Villanueva comes set if he wants to use it with him.
Up and in. 3-1. Again, Villanueva pitching from behind. Roy Halladay anxiously awaits on the bench for his return here to Rogers Center. Two on, 1 out. Straight changeup. Howard will expand the zone. He knows that he's not going to get a lot of great pitches to hit.
They're not going to challenge him also in the first inning. A couple of runners on. They throw him a changeup down and away, but you're right. Ryan Howard has been known to chase.
Do you run here with a full count and 1 out?
No need to. He can score you easily with an extra base hit. You want to stay away from the strike him out, throw him out.
And he does strike out. 3-2, 1 out. Not going. Base hit into right field. Thames backs up on it. Rollins comes around third, and he'll score. Ryan Howard drives home the first run of the ball game. He has 67 ribbies now as the Phillies have taken a 1-0 lead.
One of the best run producers in all of baseball, Ryan Howard. He's had plenty of opportunities with the players hitting ahead of him, driving in runs. 3-time All-Star, and it's another changeup. Villanueva doubles up on the changeup, and he sends it into right field. Howard drove in 108 runs last year, and he's well on his way to that this year.
Shane Victorino, big day yesterday. He had 3 hits, walked. Drives this one to center field, but not deep. Polanco halfway at shortstop. He'll go back to second. Victorino's retired. So the Phillies, very confident. They give any of their starters a lead, they get a pretty good chance to win it. Roy Halladay has a 1-0 lead.
Sometimes that's all it takes when he is out on that mound. Just give me the lead, take a little pressure off in the first inning, let me find my footing. This Phillies team offensively, when you look at the numbers, it just doesn't add up with all the star players that they have. In the history that some of these players have put up, that you find them where they do offensively.
They are 8th in the National League in runs scored, 10th in hits, 10th in average, and their hitters suggest they would score more runs than that.
Well, they've got good team speed as that ball gets away from Arancibia. They've got good team speed. They've got players who can create runs, and they've got power in the middle of that lineup. Villanueva is asking if that ball wasn't fouled off, and we'll be able to see right here. Not even close. JP just missed it.
It's a pass ball on the catcher. And those extra 90 feet really crucial with a veteran hitter like Cabanez. Now he has 2 runners in scoring position.
Cabanez got off to a really rough start this year with the bat, but lately he has been swinging much better. The power stroke is starting to come back. He's up to 9 home runs now.
High breaking ball. Villanueva's been high all inning. He's now thrown 23 pitches in the first. shot to right field. Thames comes in and takes it head high. Ibanez hits it right on the line, but right to the right fielder. The Phillies lead 1-0. His first start in this ballpark since September of 2009.
It's been a love-in all weekend long, and now Halladay comes in here. The fans give him a standing ovation, and now what they have to realize now, he's pitching for the opposition. It's time to beat him.
And that's what the Blue Jay players think about right now. They have ultimate respect for Halladay, but they want to even the series at a game apiece. First pitch from Halladay. For a strike. Aaron Hill hitting leadoff with Yunel Escobar out with that bruised hand. No time frame for Escobar, and already Alfonso Marquez getting a little grief from the Blue Jays dugout.
Well, there were a couple of pitches from Villanueva that were very close that were called a ball in the top of the inning. And now that first pitch looked borderline to the Blue Jays, and they're going to let him know it.
0-2. And this is the Roy Halladay that made that transition back in 2001. Pounds the strike zone, challenges the hitters to put it in play. Right field, Dominic Brown. 3 pitches for the first out. Take a look at the rest of the Jays lineup. Jays lineup is brought to you by TD. Banking can be this comfortable. Aaron Hill, Eric Thames, Jose Bautista. Bautista with his 25th home run yesterday. Lynn Encarnacion, Aaron Sevilla. Corey Patterson in left, Rajai Davis in center, and John McDonough starting at shortstop. Broken back, base hit. Eric Thames is on fire.
They have him in that number 2 slot for a reason. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the game goes along. Roy Halladay looking for his 6th consecutive victory. He won 148 games with the Jays. Faces them for the second time. Remember, he pitched against them last year in Philadelphia and beat them. Takes that 10-3 record with a 2.40 earned run average to the mound. This is his 18th start of the season, and we'll talk a little bit more about those splits. The walks to strikeouts ratio is excellent at almost 8-1.
But Halladay will give up base hits. He's 5th in the National League in hits allowed.
That's from always being around the plate, challenging the batters. No free passes.
Jose Bautista lays off the outside pitch. Bautista's 1 for 3 against Halladay. An awful lot of experience against him. Inside. You've watched Halladay when he pitched here with the Blue Jays. What is it about the tempo of his game that works in his favor?
He just works quickly, no messing around. And I love his demeanor on the mound. You know, it's almost like, okay, boys, I'm going to do my thing. Just get me a couple of runs, and I'll take care of the rest. He'll pitch inside to right-handers if he has to. But it's basically, here it is, strike one. Let me see if you can beat my best pitch.
Bautista fouls it back out of play.
He has that ability with that cut fastball and that sinker to keep the ball off the barrel of the bat. That was a great example right there. That last pitch, 3-1. Bautista is locked in and zeroed in on a fastball, and he just got it off the end of the bat with a little late movement.
3-2, 1 out. Strike 3 call. Bautista is run up. Alfonso Marquez has gotten some grief already from the Blue Jays dugout, and he's going to hear it a little bit more from Bautista. Blue Jays are thin on players. Bautista's got to be aware of that, and he is, so he just walks back to the dugout.
Yeah, just 3 healthy players on the bench. The backup catcher Molina, Jason Nix, and Juan Rivera. So Escobar today, he didn't even take batting practice. This one right on the corner, and it looked high enough from pitch tracks. This is where Roy Halladay lives. It's where it crosses the plate, not where the catcher catches it.
So 2 outs. First strikeout of the afternoon for Halladay. Adam Lind will step in. And the Blue Jays are thinking, hey, yesterday everybody honored Halladay. Today he's pitching. Everybody's into the Halladay spirit. We're the home team here now.
And there were some comments made about that today from some of the players. We are the home team, and we're going to try and beat them.
Now, all that other stuff is great for pregame. And nobody knows that better than Roy Halladay.
Well, he chose when he came here, was not going to speak to the media until after today's ball game. He didn't want to get caught up in all the festivities and everything surrounding this weekend until after he was pitching.
Ruiz thought about a snap throw to first, but Thames is back and no throw. 2 outs here in the first inning. Philadelphia's taking a 1-0 lead on Ryan Howard's RBI single. And takes the 2-out walk.
As Lynn makes his way down to first base, let's take a look at the scouting report for Roy Halladay. Everybody knows about that bulldog approach when he is on the mound. He's got the game face on, and he's ready to compete. Sinkers and cutters are basically what he will throw at the hitters. But one thing that he has picked up and now making him very effective, he's throw a curveball and a changeup a little bit more. And there's the no free passes. Just 16 base on balls this season. That was number 17 to Adam Lind to go along with 123 strikeouts. You better be ready to swing it.
Edwin Encarnacion lays off that outside pitch. Halladay reminding himself to keep that front shoulder closed. He flew open and pulled that ball out of the strike zone. 2 on, 2 outs. .5-0 over his last 8 starts, pitching to a very good ERA, and he can get on rolls. Very, very consistent.
Well, he just gives his team a win every time, a chance to win every time he takes that mound. You saw his record 5-0 over his last 8 starts. The team is 8-0 over those starts, and this is his 51st start as a Philly. So in his previous 50 games, the team has won 36 times that he has started for.
That cut fastball is slashed into the seats. Encarnacion has been swinging the bat much better, much more aggressively. He had a 2-run double in his first at bat in yesterday's game in the first inning. Give the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead. Well, he just doesn't leave many pitches over the heart of the plate.
You might get that one every at bat, as his total now up to 20. The average is about 15 pitches per inning. You have to foul off those tough pitches like that last one to Encarnacion and wait for him. Hope that he gets one up to you.
Went too far. Bigger breaking ball outside, and Encarnacion went around. Second strikeout of the inning. Roy Halladay strands a pair. Philadelphia has an early lead. Hudson's Crazy Humor in insane action weeknights at 7:30 Eastern and Pacific on OLN. Remember, OLN is now available in HD. Second inning, Carlos Villanueva threw 24 pitches, but held the Phillies to a single run. Dominic Brown takes the first pitch strike. Brown had a fractured hamate bone in his hand. That happened in spring training, and he's just now getting his timing down. He's just 23 years old. Last year he spent time at 3 different levels: Double-A Reading, Lehigh Valley, and then the big leagues.
Big time prospect for the Philadelphia Phillies. He was the recipient of the Paul Owens Award, which is the best player in the minor leagues, and I think from what they saw from him last year and his cup of coffee that he had in the big leagues, got into 35 games, that allowed them to not re-sign Jason Worth, let him go as a free agent, hoping that he would take over in right field. He has, but he's gotten off to a slow start because of that hamate problem.
Yeah, it's just about timing, and I don't care who you are. You know, a lot of people think, oh, spring training, that's just to go out there and play a few games. But, boy, it's to build up your timing and your strength and your stamina, and especially your hand quickness.
And for young players, it's still about learning the game of baseball, playing at the highest level.
Fouled out there, and Sevilla holds on. It's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Villanueva.
It looked like he pulled the changeup on him. Got him out in front, about 80 miles an hour. There is the grip. It's a 3-finger grip that he will use for his changeup. You also see the circle change where it rolls off your pinky finger. That time he uses it and uses the 3 fingers, the index finger, as the push pitch.
Ross Glode playing at first base this afternoon, giving Ryan Howard a half a day off. Howard's the DH.
Carlos Villanueva is a lot like Roy Halladay when it comes to pitching.
Hot shot to the second baseman, and Gold is retired. 2 quick outs for Villanueva.
You're not going to catch Carlos Villanueva not prepared for a ball game. Takes a lot of video, watches a lot of video of the opposition. He is in that room just like Halladay is, preparing for his start. Does all the work on the side and everything else like that, but he is prepared by knowing his opposition.
Catcher Carlos Ruiz batting in a 9th spot. Ruiz hit 8th in yesterday's game, had an RBI single in 5 at bats. Ball on the strike. Ruiz was signed as a free agent out of Panama. He's a guy that has just grown and grown, and he was a converted infielder. Went back behind the plate. The quickness is evident when you watch him work blocking balls in the plate.
You have to have that as a catcher. You've got to have quick feet, and you've got to have quick hands.
Big bouncing ball to third. Quick inning for Villanueva. He found the strike zone and has a 1-2-3 second inning. To the big leagues in '98 and came to the big leagues and made a splash.
He's a different pitcher now, though. Look at the long arms. This is the only hit that he gave up in this game against the Tigers in his second big league start. Note the different arm swing, the longer arm swing, a little bit more over the top. He was just an out or two away from a no-hitter.
Bobby Higginson hit a pinch hit home run with 2 outs in the 9th to break up Halladay's no-hit bid. And that was his second major league start. So everybody just thought it'd be a smooth road to stardom. Not the case. J. Pierre Encibia leading off the second. Jimmy Rollins has great range and no problem with that right shoulder. Roy Halladay started out his career 13-14. And he was over the top, threw a big knuckle curveball, and just didn't have good command. But he was throwing 97, 98. But then he was sent back to the minor leagues in 2001, came up on July 2nd, 2001. It's been a different story.
Yeah, he was just out-stuffing everybody when he first came up here. They didn't know what he had. He didn't know what they had. He just was out-stuffing them. And I say on that film that we just saw, note the long arm swing and how he was right over the top.
Corey Patterson goes after the first pitch and bounces out to second.
And as a hitter, those are easy pitches to see. And that big, hard-breaking, big looping curveball, those are easy to pick up.
Yeah, he was an upright delivery, and he showed the batter the baseball for a long time. And even though it was 97, 98, they could time it. So he was sent back to the minor leagues, all the way back to A-ball in the spring of 2001. And the transition began. Rajay Davis takes the first pitch strike. Davis 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. There's that curveball. A little more depth with that breaking ball last couple of years as he's added another wrinkle. But it's nothing like that original knuckle curveball he threw when the Blue Jays first signed him.
It was like he would cast that curveball, meaning that he would throw it from behind him. He would cast it, had the big looping break in it. And hitters, once they saw it for the first time, recognized it early.
Ten years ago today, Roy Halladay made his reappearance in the major leagues in a relief appearance. And since July 2nd, 2001, he has more wins than anybody in baseball.
Amazing, the transformation that we saw from that spring until July. And isn't it interesting, the baseball gods, 10 years to the day, Halladay came back from the minor leagues. He makes his return to Toronto.
Bouncing ball to third. Polanco has it. 3 ground ball outs, and the Blue Jays go quietly in the second. Roy Halladay has a 1-0 lead. Latest column has ranked the best of the Blue Jays pitchers over the franchise history. Roy Halladay top of the heap. Go online, see what you think about how Scott Carson has ranked the starting pitchers. There've been some great ones here. Halladay, Steve, Wells, Key, Pat Henkin. We've talked about them all. And Scott Carson has a great column breaking down the history of the great pitchers here with the Toronto Blue Jays. Back to the top of the order. Jimmy Rollins walked and scored. Boy, you can be a World Series championship team, or you can be a last place club. You get that leadoff guy on with a walk, chances are you're going to score.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter where in the lineup either. It could be the number 8 guy who walks, but he'll come around to score.
Breaking ball has popped up. Aaron Hill battling the sun, shielding his eyes, and stays with it. He's got the flip down glasses on today. It's a bright, hazy day here in Toronto, and that was a tough one.
And there's some background now with the clouds. You mentioned the hazy sky. That'll give you, as a fielder, a little bit of a background to give you the depth perception of those high fly balls. That time he handles it easily.
There you see what the fielders are dealing with, that bright sun on a hazy, beautiful afternoon. Placido Polanco, he too walked in the first. That's the first pitch strike. Didn't you think the coolest things you first got when you started playing pro ball were those flip-down glasses?
Flip-down sunglasses. Where else could you get them?
No, you had to be a pro ball player.
Yeah, you had to be the pro, and then you had to learn how to use them. Yeah, the first few times.
You knock them down over your nose?
Oh, yeah. Oh, right over my face. Fly ball left field. You go like this. You hit it right on top of it. And
hat comes down.
Yeah.
Glasses are off your nose.
There's an art to it. Using those things, man.
Mullen the strike. One out. Breaking ball again. Another pop up to right field. Hill in foul ground. Can't make the play. In no man's land down there in foul territory. Thames converging along with Lynn. Hill had the best shot.
He had the best angle at it. Thames was playing him a little bit too far into the gap. The angle that Aaron Hill takes is perfect. He just wasn't hit high enough for him to get over there.
One and two to Polanco. Popped out of play. Villanueva's done a great job, and you talk about diamond in the rough. Blue Jays had a lot of respect for what Carlos could do out of the bullpen. He was their long man. Would come out when the starter got bumped early, give you 3, 4, maybe and 4 in the third out of the pen. But boy, he's held his own as a starter.
At the beginning of the season, there were a number of times where the starter would go 3, maybe 4 innings, and they would have to call down there to Villanueva to help save him. Pitched 4 2/3 innings out of the pen back in May against Detroit. He had an inning where he pitched 3 1/3.
Ground ball. John McDonald at short. Kept his feet moving. Makes a strong throw to throw out Polanco.
But I asked John Farrell, I said, where is he more valuable? And he said, no question as a starter. We need somebody to eat up those innings. And you can see from these numbers, Villanueva right on as a starter.
You can see just 7 walks as a starter opposed to 23 strikeouts, and that's part of managing the lineup. When you're a starting pitcher, you have to go through the lineup 3, sometimes 4 times, and you have to be able to attack them in different styles, and Villanueva has all the tools to do that. Today, he's had a better curveball than we have seen in the last few starts.
Last time out, it was a good changeup. That was against St. Louis when he gave him 6 innings and gave up just 2 earned runs. Keeps the ball in the ballpark also.
Well, when you can throw changeups in fastball counts, you can have a lot of success, and that's what Villanueva is the master at. Fastball missed downstairs. Chase Utley struck out on a curveball his first time up. Well, he's still looking for his first hit against Villanueva. He is now 0 for 8. Utley had knee problems, recovering from knee surgery in the off season. Had a late start to his season. Hot shot taken on one hop. Aaron Hill makes the play. Villanueva has another 1, 2, 3 innings. He's retired 8 straight since Howard had the RBI single in the first. Jays top of the heap as far as wins at Rogers Center, but it's a great list of homegrown starters.
See, we talked about it in the opening about the rich tradition of homegrown players, pitchers that the Blue Jays, Roy Halladay with the most wins here at Rogers Center. But there's Hankins, Stottlemyre, Wells, Guzman, all of them signed, drafted, developed in the farm system with the Blue Jays.
Dave, Steve, and Pat Henkin were 5th-round draft picks. Halladay was a 1st-round pick in '95. David Wells and Jimmy Key came out of the same draft in 1982. Wells was 2nd, Key was 3rd. But they did a great job of scouting and developing. Off the end of the bat. Rode went after it, but Utley has plenty of time to make the play. Shovels it to first. When you talk about a starting pitcher, obviously winning percentage is key in the minimum of 50 games. Roy Halladay, again, the leader in that department.
And there it is again. All of those players signed, drafted by the organization, developed in their farm system, brought up to the big league. And I went back and looked at 20-game winners in the Blue Jays history, and there's only been 3 that have been developed in the farm system where they were original draft picks. Halladay, David Wells, and Pat Henkin, the only players that have won 20 games. Halladay did it twice.
I think the one thing that's important for this era of Blue Jays is to develop that kind of foundation where they learn what it is to be a Blue Jay, where you come through the system and you have a pride of organization. Aaron Hill pops it into center field. Victorino circles under it. 2 down.
You know, and I think that is happening now in the organization where they are drafting high upside players, especially pitchers. Every day we talk about some of the pitchers that we are seeing in the minor leagues, and they are developing that mindset of, I'm a Blue Jay and I'm going to win. So in a few years, you're going to see some of these pitchers start to get to the big leagues, and it's going to be like when Pat Henkin came up, and Todd Stottlemyre, and
David Wells, and Dave Steve, and all those guys. The pride of ownership.
Yes.
This is our team, and we're going to make sure that we win. Eric Thames, gloved by Halladay. Another part of being a good starting pitcher is fielding your position. Halladay does that well. He's retired 7 straight. Pretty good one. Drew Hutchison had started out the season in low A ball at Lansing. He went 6-2. Then he's moved to Dunedin. Made 2 very impressive starts at Dunedin.
12 innings in a row now in Dunedin, which is high A, and it's a pitcher's league in the Florida State League. But in Lansing, 27 innings in a row without an earned run. He has picked that up and stayed the course in Dunedin.
No earned runs in his last 39 innings pitched, and that has not been lost on the Blue Jays front office. They've kept an eye on Drew Hutchinson, he throws 94, commands the strike zone, doesn't walk anybody, and obviously he's tough to score on.
That's the one thing that Alex Anthopoulos was telling us today about young Drew Hutchinson, is he throws strikes. Probably better than any pitcher that they have in the minor leagues, and that's why we might see him.
Ryan Howard goes after that first pitch. High breaking ball. Howard with the RBI single, only run of this ball game. Travis Snyder continues his comeback down in AAA Las Vegas. He had 3 hits last night, made a fine running catch playing center field. Another breaking ball hit right into the shift. Lynn gets back to first. Howard's retired. I don't know that it'll be too long before we see Travis Snyder. He picked up his timing very quickly after coming back from the disabled list. Had good at-bats 2 nights ago as the DH. Last night he was the center fielder and had 3 good at-bats. And John Farrell, in talking with the minor league coaches and manager, thinks that he's ready to come back within a few days.
And he was talking about center field in Las Vegas, that it's a big field, a big part of the ballpark, and he has handled it easily.
Shane Victorino. Cashman Field in Las Vegas. The Blue Jays opened up the season a few years ago playing the Oakland Athletics when the Oakland Coliseum was being renovated. It is a big field and a lot of room to cover, and Snyder sounds as though he's played it well.
There he is.
He's here already. Victorino takes a changeup.
The thing about Travis is they asked him to go down there and to work on his swing and try and get that long arc out of his swing. And working with Chad Mottola, it sounds like he has done that. A little bit more consistent contact.
Ball on the strike. Well, Travis Snyder's 23 years old. And you got to give him an opportunity to regain his confidence in stroke. Sounds like he's regained his confidence in AAA. Bring him back up here and give him the second half of the season to see what he can do. Villanueva is starting to profile like a top-line pitcher. Tough first inning, and then he found the strike zone, and he's carving up the Phillies.
And he found the feel of that changeup. He just throws it. And it looks just like a fastball coming out of his hand. And then he pulls back on it.
Off Villanueva, Hill in time to get Victorino. Victorino can run. Hill came after it, changed direction after it deflected off Villanueva's glove.
The ball was hit so hard by Victorino, and you're right, he can really run. Gets out of that box, it's hit hard, but deflected right to the second baseman. His momentum now taking him towards the bag, cutting down the distance between second and first. You see, here comes Hill, and that's an easy play after he makes the catch.
Fly ball hit to center. Davis back right in front of the warning track and makes the catch. Carlos Villanueva, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's retired 11 straight. one up and in on Jose Bautista. He has to bail out. Then the next at bat for Bautista.
Bautista's revenge on a pitch on the inner half. Kaplawi to left field. Number 25 for Bautista. We've seen this act before from Jose.
Last year against the Yankees, Ivan Nova knocked him down. He would end up hitting 2 home runs in that game. One off Nova, one off David Robertson. The difference in the ball game. Bautista set. Halladay delivers outside. Nine and 7 pitches in the second and third, respectively. And Hickok said no swing down at first. Being away, Van Halladay both had trouble in the first inning, getting acclimated to that mound. Just enough to take it off the end of the bat.
That's right. Right off the sweet spot of the bat. And it's late movement. As a hitter, it looks like a fastball down and away. You start your swing and it just keeps moving away from you.
A little bit harder, but still late movement. How big is the sweet spot on the barrel of a bat?
About the size of a dime. That is, they are staying away from Bautista. So if you take a dime and you put it on your bat, that's where you've got to hit it right.
There's one on the sweet spot. Number 26 for Bautista. Straight games the Blue Jays have homered.
And this is so fun to watch when you've got a great pitcher on the mound and a great hitter at the plate. Power versus power. And Bautista wins this one. Wow.
Little flare into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Limbs aboard. The next time Halladay faces Bautista might be in Arizona in the All-Star game.
Thing of beauty. They just stayed away from him, Makes a mistake, and he hits it off the windows in center field.
Ground ball. Rollins to Utley at second. One. Back to first. Double play. Halladay continues to attack the strike zone.
You know what? This is why this game is so great and why we're here and why all the fans are here, because you get to watch this. A great pitcher versus a great hitter. The confrontation, man on man right there. Bautista wins that one.
8th home run Halladay has allowed all season. I don't think there's a better one-on-one confrontation in sports than batter against pitcher. Two of the best in the game. Bautista has retaken the major league lead in home runs.
It's almost like he is going back and forth with Mark Teixeira. A little personal war between those two sluggers in the American League East. Jose is up by 1 now.
Well, one thing about Halladay, he's not going to shy away from the strike zone. Just comes right back down in the strike zone again. Another beautiful crowd here at Rogers Center on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. It's Junior J Saturday. The return of Roy Halladay to Rogers Center. Carlos Villanueva is matching him pitch for pitch. Phillies have had just 1 hit. Blue Jays have 3.
And that was the hit that got him a run. Howard, after a couple of first inning walks, banged one into right field, and that's been it. Both these pitchers struggled in the first inning.
Took something off that breaking ball. 2-2. Victorino backing up in center field. Aaron Seavey got under it. Halladay gets out of the fourth inning, but the Blue Jays have tied it up. Jose Bautista drills a low pitch off the wall in center. Number 26. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Jose Bautista home runs in his last 2 at-bats, and over his last 4 games, he's hit .455, 3 homers, and 6 RBI. He has retaken the American League home run lead that also leads the majors. 26 for Bautista.
That ball to center field was a thing of beauty. I had a ball like that the other day.
Sure you did.
It was on the 3rd tee box.
There's a long drive to right, but Dominic Brown has pulled it foul. Yeah, that looked like about a 2-iron.
Yeah.
Straight away center.
The way it just took off with that backspin that he creates with that back speed.
1-1 ball game as Bautista has tied it. He had a 2-run homer in the game last night in the 7th. That gave the Blue Jays a lead. Carlos Villanueva has done a great job. Led the Phillies to 1 run on 1 hit. 5th inning. Changeup has been great for Villanueva.
They haven't been able to figure that out. Throwing it in a fastball count. It's got movement. It's got good arm action. Brown's got a little bit of a long swing right now, and it's a good pitch for it. Villanueva against him.
Ball is hit into right field. Thames to his right. Makes the catch. 1 out here in the 5th. Well, we did mention the All-Star game. It's coming up July 12th out in Phoenix at Chase Field. Jose Bautista will be there, and he will be part of the Home Run Derby. Take place on Monday, July 11th of 2011. Home Run Derby, an All-Star game. The captains of those respective Home Run Derby teams have been announced. It'll be Prince Fielder for the National League and David Ortiz for the American League. They will pick 3 hitters to join them in that Home Run Derby on Monday night.
Do they hit?
I believe they do hit. They're the reigning champs. Fielder won in 2009. Ortiz won last year. So I think they hit, they participate, and they choose their 3 teammates. Ross Glow, the first baseman. Base hit into center field. Just the second hit of the afternoon for the Phillies. Take another look at Jose Bautista's home run and where it ended up.
Well, no chance for Victorino's. He just stands and watches that one. Bounces off the windows section in dead center field. The ball on days like today to center field, it doesn't carry. The wind kind of creates a wind tunnel and gets knocked down to center field. From bullpens to the foul lines, that's where you want to hit it to get it out. So that's a monster shot on a day like today.
Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Well, that's just like your drive. Your drive is never affected by the wind, and Bautista's home runs are never affected by the wind.
That's about
just
where
go right through it.
I hit my drives right down the middle like that, too.
About 100 yards away. One out. Glode with the single. Jose Bautista hit his 26th home run a year ago in Kansas City on July 20th. So he's far ahead of that pace that saw him hit 54 home runs.
We were talking about surprises in the first half. You buy into that Jose Bautista is a surprise?
I'll buy into the 330 average. I mean, that's 70 points higher than he hit last year. The home runs, I didn't know that he would hit 50, but 26 doesn't surprise me. But the 330 average, it's admirable considering the attention he gets from opposing pitching coaches and pitchers.
And the home runs are surprising based on the amount of pitches that he sees. I mean, they've walked him how many times this year? Just taking the bat right out of his hand.
2-1. Bautista's been walked 70 times. So there's 70 bats you can't even factor in.
Intentionally, he's right up there with Cabrera, too, in intentional walks.
Off-speed pitch, 2-2. But given all of the attention, and I mean, literally, you and I get approached every single day. How is Bautista doing? How is Bautista doing? Bautista played for Pete McCannon in Pittsburgh. McCannon is the bench coach here for Charlie Daniel. He said, how is he doing? 2-2, 1 out. Foul.
He's doing it by hard work, talent, smarts, and making adjustments. He's made the adjustment. I asked him that the other day.
You and I were talking, and there's Pete McCannon, who's now the bench coach, but you and I were talking to Alex Anthopoulos this morning about everything coming together here for Bautista. Cedar Gaston, Dwayne Murphy, the opportunity, maturity.
And what did he say? If Bautista goes to another team, maybe he doesn't become Jose Bautista.
Cedar Gaston had a lot to do with that. He's sitting there with Paul Beeston. Cedar's in town. We have a look at the ball club and participate with Joe Carter in that golf tournament. There's a little looper into center field. Ross Glode goes around second. He's headed for third. First and third, 1 out. Carlos Ruiz will turn the lineup over with a single.
The bottom of the lineup in yesterday's game, very effective for the Phillies. This reaches out on this pitch that's actually out of the strike zone and just punches it into right field. Ross Glode did a good job, the base runner at first base, going first to third, recognizing that Rajai Davis was the player who was going to field that ball. No chance to throw him out.
Jimmy Rollins has walked and popped up in his 2 at-bats. Rollins has hit into 8 double plays. Villanueva's done a pretty good job of keeping the ball on the ground here this afternoon. The base hit by Glode here after 1 out snapped a streak of 12 straight retired by Villanueva. Now he'll get a visit from Bautista, who just has a word of encouragement before he returns to third. Juan Samuel, the former Blue Jay, now the third base coach for the Phillies.
Just reminding that runner that, hey, any ball hit to the corners, you got to go to stay out of the double play.
Popped up, and that'll get to the seats. Great Canada Day weekend crowd. Beautiful crowd yesterday, 45,512. It looks like we got about the same here this afternoon. Beautiful weather. The roof is open, and it's a gorgeous ballpark. Fans have been entertained to a couple of good ball games. The Blue Jays with the home run today have stretched their consecutive games with a home run to 10. Plus the added attraction of Roy Halladay's return to Toronto. 2 balls and a strike, 1 out. Into center field. Bload goes back, tags up. Davis is not going to get it. It bounces out of the ballpark, and that saves the Blue Jays a run momentarily. Ruiz was halfway around third. He'll go back as the ball bounces out of play. A ground rule double. Bload comes in to score, and the Phillies have retaken the lead.
Jimmy Rollins might be 5'8", 170 pounds, but he's got a quick bat. He had a 30 home run season in his career. He's been a Silver Slugger Award winner. That was in 2007, and he jumps on this high breaking ball. Pitch that was up, and he smokes it to center field. It'll end up being extra bases as it bounces out of play. Rollins gets the RBI, sends a runner to third, and himself into scoring position. MVP of the National League in 2007. That at bat shows you why.
1 out, 2 on. Polanco pops this up on the infield. Should be playable. McDonald. 2 down. Jimmy Rollins is a free agent at the end of this year. Be an interesting guy on the open market, and there's a couple of guys that are free agents. Rollins and Jose Reyes of the Mets.
Rollins a little bit older than Jose Reyes. Reyes putting it all together. See, A-Rod says he's the best player in the National League.
Right now he's got to be. Jimmy Rollins is 32. He'll turn 33 in November. And they're going to put Chase Utley on. It's interesting strategy. Utley is 0 for 9 against Villanueva. There are 2 outs. Ryan Howard is on deck.
Howard drove in a run his first time up, drove in the game winners in last night's game. He's had the most RBIs of anybody since 2005. The only thing I can think of, set up a force at any base.
John Farrell is always looking at the matchups and seeing how his pitchers match up against the opposing hitters. But this is a curious situation with 0 for 2 this afternoon. Chase Utley had dropped to 0 for 9 against Villanueva. Utley struck out and grounded out. Howard has a single and a ground out. So now they've rattled the cage of Ryan Howard.
Yeah, and we'll see how the Blue Jays defensively, remember they had the big shift on the last time he was up. Now with runners on base, we'll see how they move their infield. McDonald straight away at shortstop.
Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Breaking ball foul back. You can see Howard's a little more determined in this at bat after the intentional walk.
Well, you're just messing with him. There are his numbers. 10 career grand slams for Ryan Howard in his career.
That's why the managers make the big bucks.
Howard's taking this personally.
Pushed him back with the fastball. One thing that Charlie Manuel told us about Ryan Howard is he's been very productive. He drives in a lot of runs, but he will expand the zone. In an effort to drive in runs, he hasn't had a whole lot of support around him in this Philly lineup all year long. And sometimes he forces the issue.
Yeah, and he'll strike out a lot, but if you make a mistake, you know, it can be a lot of runs very quickly. That's the one thing that you worry about when you pitch to the number 4 hitter.
Right on a fastball.
Chase Utley is an excellent hitter too. I guess it's who do you want to face? Utley's a very good run producer with a very short swing, and he can come up with the hits just as easily as Ryan Howard.
Well, obviously, this is who John Farrell wanted to face. He's the one that called for the intentional walk. 1-2, 2 outs. Villanueva against Howard. Phillies have taken a 2-1 lead here in the 5th. Yes, down at third base, says Brian O'Miller. He strikes him out. The gamble pays off. Farrell's trust in Villanueva comes through as Howard did expand and he chased the breaking ball in the dirt. Bases loaded, 2 out. Ryan Howard goes too far. Center, but John Farrell walked the bases loaded to pitch to Ryan Howard, and it pays off. Howard couldn't check his swing on the breaking ball.
He said that he will expand the strike zone at times and strike out. Villanueva goes right there, down and in, and it pays off with the strikeout.
Sometimes you got to go with your gut feeling. Even though Chase Utley was 0 for 9, Farrell felt like the better matchup was Villanueva against Howard.
You know, those are the things that managers get paid for right there. Those decisions in the middle of the game that could either make or break this whole game.
Bouncing ball. This is going to be tough for Utley. Shovels, and it gets away. Patterson's got a chance to go to third. All the way down the right field line. Dominic Brown over, and Patterson will get to third base. An infield hit and an error. Looked like the ball hit Patterson just as he got to the bag and then went down the right field foul line.
We've talked the last couple of days that this Philadelphia Philly team, one of the better fielding teams in baseball. Just their 3rd error in their last 137 innings. And it's a big one. Right off the plate goes Patterson, and Utley has it. It looks like he has a chance, but after it hit Patterson, it ricochets all the way down the right field line, and here's Brian Butterfield thinking about scoring him, but he will stop him at third. Man on third, nobody out.
You see Patterson reaching for that right calf. The ball hit him just before he got to the bag. Davis shows bunt, pulls the bat back. It's an infield hit and an error on the second baseman, Chase Utley. That allows Patterson to get to third. 0-2.
Shorten up the swing right here. Think middle of the diamond. Just a ground ball past the pitcher will get that run in. The corners are playing in. The middle of the infield is back. They will concede that run.
0-2. Caught and missed. Davis strikes out. So with one out, John McDonald will bat, but first the pitch from Halliday.
Been a pitch that has given Rajai Davis some trouble the last couple of weeks. That breaking ball off the plate for a strikeout. So now with one out, the infield will come in, and we will keep a close eye on John McDonald.
Well, McDonald has squeezed this season once against Mariano Rivera to tie the game against New York. Infield is in. Good speed at third. Base hit. No squeeze this time. Patterson scores the tying run.
They give Johnny Mack one pitch to see if he can do something with it, and he does. Looking for that first one. Jumps all over it and pulls it. They try to jam him, but it's out over the plate, and he pulls it into left field. Pitch was up, and right where he can handle it. RBI single, his 12th run driven in as Patterson crosses with the tying run.
John McDonald knows Roy Halladay is going to come right after you. First pitch swing drives in Patterson. 2-2 ball game. Good hit and run combination right here. Halladay throws it around the strike zone. Hill can put it in play. They can create some movement on the infield by starting the runner.
I think that's what Halladay was thinking about right there by throwing over to first base. Good healthy cut there.
Blue Jays have out hit the Phillies 5-4. There goes McDonald. Hill bounces it to third. Polanco in time. Hill grounds out to third. McDonald moves to second. Right fielder Eric Thames. Extended his hit streak to 8 games with a single in his first at bat. He knows not to wait around against Halladay.
Yeah, don't fall behind 0-1, because if you do, batters are hitting .205 against it. I'm sure he's going to get some pitches to hit with Bautista on deck. So he is not waiting around. Pick out a good one. He's a good low ball hitter.
Just off the plate. 0-2.
I think as he gets a little bit older and understands what pitchers are trying to do to him and knows him a little bit more, he would lay off those first 2 pitches. They were out of the zone. I think Halladay was taking advantage of his eagerness as a hitter.
0-2, 2 outs. Breaking ball is bounced. I don't know if there's anybody better than Carlos Ruiz at blocking those balls in the dirt. Halladay can throw it with full confidence that Ruiz is going to block it.
Hoping for a swing and miss, and then his catcher will back him up. We saw Jeff Mathis of the Angels do this when we were out in Los Angeles.
1-2, 2 outs. Just off the outside corner. You got to think back to the first inning when the Blue Jays dugout was chirping at Alfonso Marquez about not giving Halladay those outside corners.
Maybe you buy a pitch later in the game just like that.
2-2. Little looper into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes McDonald in to score, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead.
Thames had a big hit in yesterday's game, the home run off the third deck. This one not as far, but just as effective. A good two-strike approach. Roy Halladay tries to go down and away. He stays on it. That is plate coverage. As he just drops it into center field in front of the Gold Glover Victorino. And out of the reach of Rollins.
Jose Bautista jumps back from an inside strike. Bautista's had 3 multi-home run games this season. Hot shot right to Rollins. Force out at second. But the Blue Jays have scored 2 here in the 5th. Eric Thames drives in the go-ahead run off Roy Halladay. White Sox and Cubs. You'll see lots of baseball action right here on Rogers Sportsnet. New York Yankees with Mark Teixeira. Teixeira and Bautista have been going back and forth for the American League Home Run League. Bartolo Colon against Dylan G for the Mets. Colon in his return off the disabled list. Dylan G is 8-1 for the Mets. Shane Victorino here in the 6th, and how many times have we said this? Here's Carlos Villanueva pitching in the 6th with the lead.
He has made 7 starts this year, and this will be 5 straight now. He has gone into the 6th inning. Didn't look like he would make it in the 1st inning. Back-to-back walks, strike out a hit, a pass ball, but since then he has settled down against this very good Philly offense.
Had a good stretch 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. Eventually retired 12 straight before Ross Glode had a 1-out single in the 5th.
This is the middle of the lineup, the part that really gave Ricky Romero trouble yesterday. Utley, Howard, Victorino, and then yesterday it was Francisco. Today it's Ibanez.
John Farrell talked about Ricky Romero's outing earlier this morning, saying, you know what, Romero did it again. Didn't have his great stuff. Wasn't as sharp as we've seen lately, but he pitched into the 6th with the lead. Left the ball game with the lead.
Had a chance to win the game.
Three and 1 to Victorino. High changeup. Carlos Villanueva is unpredictable. You just don't see any patterns that he falls into. And the pitcher's responsible for that. He's out there with his game plan, and he makes adjustments, and he's got a good feel for pitching.
Got the feel, and he's prepared. He knows what he wants to do.
Curveball, Victorino laid off. Ricky Romero started in yesterday's game, took a no decision after 6 1/3, and we have compared Roy Halladay after 78 starts to Ricky Romero with 78 starts.
Yeah, how about this? We've been talking about Halladay and how great he has been. Well, over his first 78 starts in the big leagues, his record was 30-21 with an ERA just over 4. Compare that with what Ricky Romero has done in his first 78 starts, and Romero beats him. 4 more wins, a better earned run average, a little bit better whip. You know, is there a young Doc on the horizon here starting to be made?
He's off to a pretty good start. Roy Halladay, his first 3 seasons, went 13-14 with a 5.77 ERA. Victorino at first. Raul Ibanez takes a pitch just outside.
We were talking this morning about pitchers that have to go up and down, and Halladay's name came up, obviously, for what happened. And we said it's a lot like what Kyle Drabek is going through right now. Drabek having to be sent down to AAA and not reinvent himself like Halladay.
There's a pop-up. Corey Patterson jogging in. 1 out.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Well, Halladay and Kyle Drabek do have a lot of similarities, and obviously they were traded for one another. Drabek came to the Blue Jays as part of that Roy Halladay package, but there are a lot of similarities. The talent is there. Obviously, both former #1 picks. Different type of stature, different build physically, but you know, Halladay was struggling to find his way. Drabek's doing the same thing right now in AAA.
Was he the kind of player, Roy Halladay, when he was younger, where he would fight himself like Kyle Drabek?
No, we never saw that. Roy's always been pretty quiet and had his emotions under control, and even when he was getting hit around, he was pretty stoic and would just go about his business. But you know, it had to be eating him up inside. Pitch out, nothing doing. Blue Jays were guessing with Charlie Manuel. But the thing about Drabek I find interesting, Blue Jays chose to send him to AAA and not back to AA. And AAA is a hitter's league, Pacific Coast League. And just the opportunity to pitch in a league when you know the pitcher's going to give up hits, you have to learn how to pitch.
He'll be better prepared when he comes up to face those AL East teams after what he's going to go through the Pacific Coast League. And he got beat up his first couple of starts down there.
The encouraging sign was the fact that he didn't walk anybody in his last start over 6 innings. There you see Octavio Dotel, the right-hander, loosening up. So Bruce Walton, John Farrell, they know a lot about pitching, and they have high expectations for Kyle Drabek, as does the GM Alex Anthopoulos. Lynn to second. Force out. Back to first. Nobody's there. Lynn couldn't get back to the bag, and Villanueva turned into a spectator halfway between the mound and first. I don't know that they were going to have a shot at Chu, but Villanueva kind of gave up halfway.
You're right. I don't think they could have turned two, not with the way Brown can get down that line. The important thing is you get Victorino off the bases. He had stolen 13 straight bases. Did not even make an attempt to steal there. John McDonough with a relay throw back to first base.
Dominic Brown stole third in last night's game, yesterday's game. He came around to score. That was in the 6th. Ross Gload singled in the 5th. He came in to score on Jimmy Rollins' ground rule double.
Villanueva did a great job in that inning. Second and third. Just 1 out, 1 run in already. You're facing 2, 3, and 4, and you didn't give up another run. got the pop up to Polanco. They walked Utley and then got Howard.
Pops this one up into left field. Corey Patterson is there. Rhodes retired, and the Phillies are down in the 6th. They get a base runner on, but stranded. The Blue Jays lead 3-2. Middle of the 6th. First day after the All-Star break, it'll be 80s night. Dave Stieb, certainly an icon during the 80s of the Blue Jays. Thursday, July 14th, 7:07 p.m. The Yankees are in town. Wear your best 80s outfit and win prizes. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. And for all you kids that wonder what in the heck is that yellow thing?
Pac-Man. There it is.
Pac-Man, that was the rage of the 80s. Everybody played Pac-Man, didn't they?
Not me.
You never played Pac-Man?
Well, I played it, but I didn't care for it.
Oh, you played it. I can still hear the music when he died. One out here in the 6th. We talk about Dave Stieb being the standard for pitching for the Blue Jays in the 80s. Roy Halladay and Dave Stieb, two of the icons as far as pitching, and look at how Stieb matches up with Roy Halladay.
Well, the number that jumps out is the complete games. Dave Stieb 103 when he was with the Blue Jays, and Halladay with 49, and everybody knows all the great complete games that Halladay has played in. You know, they're very similar type of pitchers also. I faced Dave Stieb and I've watched Roy Halladay, and they both have that ability to command the ball, make it go one way and another way. Very tough on right-handed batters. Stieb, of course, had that great slider.
Yeah. Different approach. Stieb's fastball moved dramatically. Maybe a little different fastball. Roy's kind of a heavy fastball,
yeah,
with a little cut, and Dave's was truly an explosive two-seamer with electric movement.
Just tough to hit for a right-hander, and if you were looking for that and you'd throw that slider, you'd spin yourself into the ground.
Popped out of play. They were both very competitive. Dave Stieb much more demonstrative than Roy Halladay. I can speak to that personally, as he threw a pitch to Greg Luzinski in Chicago, and I insisted on him throwing it. He threw up his hands in the mound when it sailed out of the ballpark. Roy Halladay strikes out JP. Aaron Sabia makes quick work of the Blue Jays here in the 6th, but after 6 complete. Blue Jays lead by 1. We'll be right back here at Rogers Center. The pregame show with Jamie and Greg starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. The Jays on Sportsnet. The final game of interleague play 2011. Jojo Reyes at 3-7 will go up against Cliff Lee. And Cliff Lee will be pitching for his 4th consecutive shutout. Carlos Villanueva back out for the 7th inning. First pitch strike to the number 9 hitter, Carlos Ruiz.
You know, we just flashed up there 95 pitches for Villanueva. I wouldn't think about that. That's not a big concern to me as he closes in on 100 because of the type of pitcher that he is.
Fly ball center field. Davis back. He'll look up. Ball is off the wall. Ruiz headed for second, and he'll get there with a stand-up leadoff double. Ruiz with a pair of hits here this afternoon.
High leg kick. It looked like he doubled up on a changeup, and that one sped the bat up of Ruiz. Davis gets it back in quickly, and he's just hoping right there that the ballpark holds it. It does, and now he's hoping to pitch around the top of the lineup here. Again, 96 pitchers, 97 pitchers now for Villanueva. He's not a maximum effort type of pitcher, so he can throw 120 if need be.
Season high in pitches, 102. That came at Kansas City back on the 8th of June. He won that ball game, went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits. But you're right, he's not like a guy that really has to put everything into each pitch. Jimmy Rollins takes an inside strike. Rollins has had an active day from the leadoff spot. Walked and scored in the first, and an RBI double in the 5th. Big crowd on hand here Saturday afternoon, the 3rd largest crowd at Rogers Center this season. Opening day, 47,000 here for the Minnesota Twins in the opener. 45,000 yesterday afternoon, and 44,078 here today. Beautiful day, beautiful crowd. Ball in the strike. One got away from him. Nobody out. Phillies down by a run. Blue Jays scored 2 in the 5th to take the lead. So fly ball into center field. Davis over quickly. He'll get there. Ruiz tags at second. Here's the throw to third. Not in time. Carlos Ruiz did a good job of getting back to second and tagging. The ball was hit into right center. Rollins moves him up 90 feet.
It's one of the tougher plays for a base runner at second base. That long fly ball in the gap. You have to watch the fielder. The closer he gets to the ball, the closer you get to the bag. Ruiz recognizes that Davis is going to make the catch. And what a throw by Rajai Davis. Right on the bag. Bautista doing everything he can to decoy the runner, thinking that there's no play. He's just standing there. You see Juan Samuel telling him to get down.
Infield is in. The tying runner at third. Breaking ball upstairs. Left-hander Luis Perez is ready. Pat Henkin, the bullpen coach. Outside. Back-to-back left-handed batters follow Polanco, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard. Then a switch hitter, Shane Victorino, followed by two more lefties. Well, that's three more lefties. There's Utley on deck. He's 0 for 2 with an intentional walk.
This is the big at bat right here. Polanco, you can see why they have him hitting in that 2-hole right there, that second hole. Very patient at the plate. Just will not offer at that pitch, just off the plate.
He's got so much confidence he can hit with 2 strikes. It's rare that you see him chase any borderline pitches. The guy chokes up on that bat. About 3 inches on the bat handle just to have great control. Ruiz with the leadoff double moved to third on the fly out to center. There's his stuff.
Doing his best to get on base. The run at third is just the tying run. Blanco knows that his job right now, on top of getting the runner in, is getting on base somehow to get your 3-4 hitters to try and knock you in.
3 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball to short. McDonald has it. Ruiz holds his ground at third. Great pitch from Villanueva. John Farrell has popped out of the dugout. He hasn't made a call yet to the bullpen.
This is going to be very interesting.
I think he's going to go talk to Villanueva and see what he wants to do here. Nope, there's the call. He's going to go to Perez. Villanueva will give up the baseball, and he's getting some congratulations for a great effort. He leaves in a game against Roy Halladay, leading 3-2. comfort zone contest winners, and they picked a great day to come out to Rogers Center. A spectacular Saturday afternoon, and the Blue Jays lead it 3-2. Carlos Villanueva has given way to the Blue Jays bullpen. It'll be the left-hander Luis Perez. Villanueva goes 6 2/3. Another outstanding start for Carlos Villanueva.
Into the 7th inning, and they'll turn it over to Luis Perez. Left-handers against Perez hitting 174. Had 14 of his strikeouts versus the left-handers. His job right now, neutralize the left-handed hitters from the Philadelphia Phillies. It starts with Chase Utley, who is a very good hitter, and then Ryan Howard on deck. Last time we saw Luis Perez was a few days ago on the 28th, where he had to come in after JoJo Reyes. He gave us 3 good innings with 4 strikeouts.
Chase Utley with 2 outs. Looks to the first pitch, and that's what you want to see. First pitch strikes. Perez has never faced the Phillies. Don't give veteran hitters a lot of information.
Yeah, attack mode. That's where you are the best, and that's where Perez has been good for the Blue Jays this year. Go right after him.
.95, but outside. Perez has had an explosive fastball when it's down. Another left-handed bat on deck. Ryan Howard.
Again, he's been good against the left-handers. He's given up 8 hits all season long. When he's down, he's got a little bit more movement on his fastball, too.
Big crowd on hand, with the Phillies fans traveling very well. A lot of Phillies fans have made their way to Toronto for this series. Chase Utley 0 for 2 with a walk. Ruiz at third. Ball jammed him right around the letters. Haven't seen the breaking ball yet. Now, if Perez can snap off a good one down and away.
Yeah, Utley hasn't seen one, so if you're going to do it, this might be the time right here. But good hitters hit good breaking balls with 2 strikes.
2-2. Breaking ball drilled to right field. Thames back. It's over his head. It's gone. 2-run home run. Chase Utley on a breaking ball that was out over the plate, up in the zone. Number 4 for Utley. The Phillies have retaken the lead.
Never any panic when the game gets deep for the Philadelphia Phillies. They've been in a ton of games like this with a lot of pressure on it. They've got gamers. Utley with that short swing sees the breaking ball. It's a hanger. And this is the first home run to a left-handed batter that Luis Perez has given up, and it comes at a bad time.
Good hitters getting strike breaking balls. And Utley hit it over the wall and right. Villanueva will be saddled with a no decision. Bouncing ball. McDonald on the second base side of the bag takes the throw on the money. Howard is retired, but the Phillies, with a 2-run home run off the bat of Chase Utley, have retaken the lead.
July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Corey Halladay back out in front. Corey Patterson had an infield hit and scored his last time up. Seesaw battle again this afternoon. Phillies won the game in the ninth on a 2-run single by Ryan Howard yesterday. They have taken the lead here in the seventh on a 2-run home run by Chase Utley. And as you might imagine, no one is throwing in the Phillies bullpen.
In the low 70s now in pitches for Halladay, and this is where, given a second chance late in the game, he turns it up a notch. Start to feel it after his team gives him a couple runs in the top of the inning.
Perfect pitch right on the inside corner. Ties up Patterson. The first out here in the seventh. Carlos Villanueva. 6 2/3, just 5 hits allowed to give up 3 earned runs. One of those 3 earned runs came after he left the game.
Got 4 walks. One of them scored. One of them intentionally. He deserved better as he gave the team a chance to win. He'll end up with a no decision in this one.
Jose Davis out in front of that Halladay pitch. Corey Halladay, we mentioned he came back up to the major leagues July 2nd of 2001. His final game that season, he pitched against Charlie Manuel's Cleveland Indians. He went 9 innings, gave up 2 hits, and threw 83 pitches.
And if you think that the Indians were just throwing out some September lineup to try and finish off the season, they were going for the playoffs.
Just outside.
Just off the plate. They had 90 wins that year. They would end up going to the playoffs. They had Kenny Lofton, Omar Vizquel, Roberto Alomar, Juan Gonzalez, Ellis Burks, Travis Fryman. Halladay gave up 2 hits.
Big slow breaking ball. Davis strikes out for a second time. Halladay has struck out 3 in a row.
And now 6 for the game. Again, that curveball down and away from a right-hander does the trick. One more note on that Halladay game against Cleveland. He did it under 2 hours against a very good hitting team. Blue Jays won that one 5-0.
Including the Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar. Jim Thome couldn't even make the starting lineup. John McDowell shoots it into right field. It's in front of Dominic Brown. Second hit of the afternoon for McDonald, both coming on the first pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, he knows something about Roy Halladay. He's going to go right after him. Johnny Mack with his second single into right field, and now a chance for Eric Hill to bring him around. Last pitch was up and out over the plate that he singled to left field. Same thing here, up and out over the plate.
Blue Jays with 7 hits. Roy Halladay, since he's pitched with the Phillies, has a 26-3 record when the Phillies score 3 runs or more. 26-3.
Just get me a few, boys.
That's here like so many thoroughbred pitchers. You get them into the 7th, 8th inning, and they see that finish line.
Yeah,
they finish.
They feel it. And that's the feeling that you get here in the 7th inning after his team scored him a couple runs.
93. Since 2001, Halladay has 61 complete games. Strike 3 call. Came inside with that fastball, catches the corner. He has struck out the last 4 outs. 4 strikeouts in the last 4 at-bats. This one right on the inside corner. p.m., the first 10,000 fans will receive a Mr. Sub sports bag. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Roy Halladay has 7 strikeouts, the last against Aaron Hill.
They went away, and it looked like a front door cutter that just catches the inside part of the plate. That one was 91 miles an hour. Freezing Aaron Hill. Hill didn't think it was a strike, but from pitch tracks it looked like it got the plate.
The Phillies pitching coach, Rich Doobie, was talking about this morning about how the starting pitching around baseball, much like Roy Halladay, has refined their approach where they can throw sinkers and cutters on both sides of the plate. And that's really allowed them to be dominant.
You're seeing that more and more from everybody. John Lester is that type of pitcher. We'll see him in the Boston series.
Cliff Lee, Justin Verlander with a changeup, throws all of his pitches to both sides of the plate. It's no longer about just pure power. Luis Perez, first pitch to Victorino. Roy Halladay with 7 strikeouts this afternoon. That's a significant benchmark. He has gone 20-5 the last 2 seasons when striking out 7 or more. Halladay looking for his 11th win. Cliff Lee goes tomorrow.
What a 1-2 punch.
Bouncing ball through into left field. Victorino has his first hit of the afternoon. This lineup is relentless. Ryan Howard had a great comment last Thursday when they lost to the Red Sox, and everybody was asking him, you guys don't score enough runs to win. He said, hey, we score 1 more than the other guys. That's all we need. 52 wins for the Phillies. That's the most in baseball.
It's plenty of hitting, isn't it? When you are 21 games over 500 the first week of July.
Bautista, Hill at second for 1, back to first, not in time. Hill got off on the wrong foot, and you can see Bautista say, my bad. He felt like he gave him a bad feed and disrupted the timing for the double play.
Yeah, you have to have the footwork around second base and the strong arm. This one, when a left-hander hits it to the left side of the infield, there's the throw. And he has to throw it off his back foot, and Ibanez will beat it out. Looked like it was hit hard enough to turn 2.
But that's the timing play that'll get better for Bautista the more reps he takes at third. The best solution to that, get Brett Laurie healthy. Bring him to the big leagues and put Bautista back in rank. But it's a short-term move and one that Bautista is happy to make. Dominic Brown goes too far.
As a second baseman, and I've played there before, when you've got a pull hitter like that up, a left-handed pull hitter, and he hits it to the left side, especially to third baseman, you've got a long way to come to get to that bag to try and turn 2. Hill did everything he could. It just Ibanez beat it out.
And there's a base hit against the shift. Dominic Brown goes the other way. Patterson gets over quickly and keeps Ibanez at second. Dominic Brown's done that a couple of times in this series. He had an opposite field double in the 6th in yesterday's game.
That was off of Ricky Romero, his second extra base hit in 33 career at-bats versus a left-hander. And he almost comes up with another one here. Beats the shift by grounding the ball to the left side. Patterson gets over, cuts it off, and holds him to a single.
1 out, 2 on. 1-run ball game. Ross Glode starting at first base this afternoon. Luis Perez in his second inning of work came on with 2 outs in the 7th. First pitch strike. Perez ahead of Glode, 0-2. He tries to go the other way. He's late on that fastball.
Left-handers trying to shoot the ball the other way. That would have been 3 in a row. Ibanez, Brown, and then Glode.
Glode was a 13th round pick of the Florida Marlins back in '97. He played at the University of South Florida. And he bounced around all over the place. Went from there to the Cubs. That's where he first made his major league debut. Strikes out. Good sinking fastball from Perez.
He's got a good one. We watch the late movement right at the end to get under the bat and through that right on the inner half, about 92 miles an hour. So Perez, after the left-handers through the lineup of the Phillies are finished, walks off the mound. Octavio Dotel into the ballgame.
Dotel will come on to face the catcher, Carlos Ruiz, who already has 2 hits. To face the right-handers, and he's dominated right-handed hitters throughout most of this season.
Certainly has. They're hitting under 200 against Dotel now in his 12th big league season. There are his numbers. Ron Farrell likes to bring him in these situations. Good matchups for him facing the right-hander. 422 earned run average. Dotel has pitched with several major league clubs. And now we'll have a chance to face Ruiz, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. He's had a nice day.
Ruiz has hit .263 against right-handed pitching. Two on, 2 outs. Didn't waste any time going off of that first offering from Dotel. Dotel uses that running fastball, kind of a cut fastball that sails away from right-handed hitters. At one point, he threw 98.
Yeah, and that's why he was a closer early in his career when he went to the Houston Astros. That time he runs it right in on the hands at 91. He won 6 games for Oakland, 22 saves one year. Also won 6 games with Houston. Had 16 saves. There are the numbers that you spoke about. Better against the righties. He can run that fastball up there. He's also got a good slider.
At one point, they had Dotel, Wagner, and Ridge all in the same bullpen. 0-2, 2 outs. Bounce to third. Bautista will go across the diamond. Plenty of time, and he gets Ruiz. Dotel comes in and gets the man he wanted. He closes out the 8th. It'll be Thames, Bautista, Lind when we come back. Blue Jays down by a run. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg from the Black Grave Broadcast Studio. To the All-Star break, it'll be a 4-game series with the New York Yankees. Derek Jeter destined to be activated by then. He'll be back in here Thursday, July 14th. We'll resume action at Rogers Center. 7:07 Eastern, Thursday and Friday. Couple of afternoon games, Saturday and Sunday. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com, or you can stop by most Rogers Plus locations for tickets. Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez, and the New York Yankees coming to town.
Jeter is supposed to get back to baseball on Monday, so he's got a week. He's 6 hits away from 3,000.
That would be interesting if that would take place during that 4-game set. Right here at Rogers Center. Eric Thames, a couple of hits and an RBI this afternoon. He's extended his hit streak to 8 games.
Halladay has struck out the last 4 batters for outs and was 1 pitch away from doing it again. It's a big inning.
Right to the third baseman. Thames covered that outside pitch pretty well, but hit it right to Polanco. So here you are, 1-run game. Jose Bautista, home run in the 4th.
Everything was away in that at bat, if you remember, and then he missed out over the plate.
First pitch splitter. 449-foot home run, the longest against Halladay this season, provided by StatSync. Breaking ball. It's like a computer out there. Remembers everything that's happened all day long. .94, maybe his best fastball of the day.
Do they show him a pitch inside? Do they dare just trying to brush him off the plate? There they go.
Splitter. And a good one. 2-2.
More more change-ups, more curveballs. That one just fell right out of the strike zone.
Cy Young in the National League against the Major League home run champ. Halladay won that. He had pitched that whole at bat for that one pitch, the front door cutter.
And he followed it up with that off-speed pitch, that changeup. And he wanted this one. Cutter, inner half. And it looks like it got it.
Off-speed pitch, Polanco from third base on the throw and right in time. 2 outs in the 8th.
That sequence that he threw up there against Bautista, you can just bottle that and sell it as a video on how to pitch. How to set up hitters.
Everything looks the same coming out of his hand. Adam Lind has singled. He's also walked. Lincoln tied with 1 swing of the bat. 16 home runs for the Jays first baseman. '94 to '92, a couple of different fastballs.
Got that illusion of maybe having 4 or 5 different pitches when you can cut it on the inside part to a lefty. You can backdoor it, sink the ball away from him, have that freezer ball on the inner half, and throw a change-uppers.
Right back to Halladay. Gabzignan has a quick 1-2-3 8th inning. Roy Halladay leads by 1. He's retired 10 of the last 11 batters he's faced, including the heart of the order in the 8th inning.
Struck out the side in the 7th, and then the 8th inning, Thames, Bautista, and Lynn, and this is why Halladay's so good. So nice and easy, stabs at it, makes the play over to first base, a 1-2-3 8th inning. And right now, Roy Halladay is feeling it.
John Roush comes on to work the 9th inning. Blue Jays are down by a run. To the top of the order for the Phillies, Rollins, Polanco, and Utley. Roush worked the 8th inning in yesterday's game. Got Jimmy Rollins to fly to right. He had a 1-2-3 inning. 3 fly ball outs. Roush does a good job of going back and forth and using his command of the strike zone. Works in and out and then takes and adds on, takes off, adds on. Does a good job with all of his pitches.
He was cut the ball a little bit more this year than what we have seen in the past from him. He'll change up a little bit more also. John Roush was the closer at the beginning of the season for the Blue Jays.
Jimmy Rollins lines it into right. Thames gets over, knocks it down, but stays with it.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Big crowd at Rogers Center. We are in the 9th inning. Jimmy Rollins with his second hit of the day. He's been on base 3 times. Placido Polanco, the number 2 hitter. Rollins has a stolen base. That came back in the first.
So many options for a manager when you've got a player like Polanco at the plate who can handle the bat. I don't think they'd be sacrificing here, but they can hit and run, or they can go ahead and let Jimmy Rollins try and steal, and then Polanco can get him over.
Yeah, Charlie Manuel's background is as a hitter, and he was a great hitting instructor before he became a manager, and I think he wants his guys to hit. If he has an option, the first option would be swing the bat.
Even playing in the National League, where there's a lot of sacrifice bunting going on with the pitchers, they've only sacrificed 32 times this year, 18 times by the pitcher. So the other 14 times, he just doesn't want to do that. Doesn't believe in it.
You got the veteran lineup that knows how to handle a bat. You give them the benefit of the doubt. But they know how to move the runners along. They are 9th in the National League in sacrifice bunts. Polanco fouls it back. Another one-run ball game. The Phillies won yesterday's game 7-6, scoring 2 in the 9th off Frank Francisco. Well, there's the beauty of choking up on the bat handle. Polanco can really control the barrel of that bat and protect the plate. I mean, that's something you don't even say very often anymore in the game, is protect the strike zone, but that's what he does.
Back in the day, it always seemed like the number 2 hitter was this type of hitter. Choke up, punch the ball the other way. You don't strike out a lot. Make contact.
Another inside-out swing. Rich Doobie, the pitching coach of the Phillies, was talking about how challenging it has been for the pitchers with the small strike zone, the lower mound, but now the pitchers have regained momentum, largely because the hitters don't take Polanco's approach. You're not given bad marks for striking out as a hitter.
That was a no-no back in the day. You felt awful if you struck out. And so all the players had that type of approach that Polanco is having right now. Put the ball in play, make contact. Nowadays, it's okay, let's see how far we can hit it, and if we strike out,
not a big deal.
Then out's an out.
There's a ball driven down the left side, but foul. And Doobie believes now that there is a swing back toward the pitcher's favor, because as we've talked about and as we've seen from Halliday, commanding both sides of the plate. John Roush does it with all of his pitches. He'll throw a sinker inside and a sinker outside, cutter inside and a cutter outside. They have learned how to command both sides of the plate out of necessity.
So the batters now have to figure that out.
I mean, it's a cyclical thing now, so the batters will make the adjustment over the next year or so, and then the pitchers will have to do something else. When you think about the great Joe DiMaggio hitting, He had more home runs than strikeouts for his career.
Think about that. That's not just one season.
And we got guys nowadays that strike out 200 times a season. 1-2 to Polanco. Little looping line drive, and McDonald makes the catch. Broken back. Turning point of the ball game came back in the 7th inning with 2 outs. Chase Utley with 2 strikes facing Luis Perez.
He had thrown a fastball in the inner half, and he had a bad swing at it, and goes back to the breaking ball, caught too much of the plate. Utley has more home runs by any second baseman in Major League Baseball over the past 7 seasons, and you can see why. Hanging breaking ball, and he hit it out.
1 out. Ground ball to Roush. Throw to second. McDonald gloves it and had to go to his knee to make the catch. Couldn't get anything on the throw to first. And a chance for 2, but the throw was to the first base side of the bag at second.
The ball, the runner, the fielder all arrived at the same time around the bag at second base. So the timing was messed up. The throw took him off, and when McDonald had to go to his knees to catch that ball, Roush says, it's my bad. He knows that they could have turned 2. Now Ryan Howard gets a chance to swing when he would not otherwise.
2 outs. The Blue Jays will use that dramatic shift. They have to remember now, if Utley takes off for second, Bautista is the lone infielder that can protect third. So Ryan Howard will have his at bat interrupted.
So will John Roush. He's got to wait around as the fan is escorted off the field. Big situation in the game right here. Big spot against the power here.
Well, it's time now for the Rogers play of the game. Hello, Speed Boost. Goodbye, waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
We love these type of matchups. Power pitcher, power hitter. And on this one, the hitter wins this battle. Bautista sends his 26th home run to dead center field. No doubt about it.
Waiting patiently in the Phillies dugout. There are 2 outs, top of the 9th inning.
That just throws everybody's timing off, doesn't it?
That sure does, and everybody has to wait. They're still trying to figure out how to get the intruder off the field. An unnecessary delay. But we are set to go. Again, there's that shift. You can see it from this perspective. Aaron Hill is in shallow right field.
He's got the right field line right there. Deep. John McDonald, the shortstop, playing straight away second base. But it's interesting, the outfield do not think that Howard's going to pull the ball. Playing him straight up to shading him to left field. Rajay Davis, the center fielder.
No balls and a strike to Ryan Howard. He is the DH this afternoon. Up plays at first, 2 outs. 1-1. Boy, he takes a vicious cut.
More RBIs than anybody since 2005.
Took him a long time to get to the big leagues. He had a fellow playing first in Philadelphia named Jim Thome. And he had to wait till the Phillies moved Thome to open up first base.
Perfectly suited, I think, for that ballpark in Philadelphia. It is a small ballpark, and Ryan Howard makes it look even smaller.
Now wanted that
pitch. Pitch tracks will show you as they stay away from him. That backdoor cutter is just off the plate. Roush has been going to lefties there with a lot of success.
Full count. Utley with 2 outs will be up on the pitch. Well, Roush doesn't get that call either. Howard will take the walk.
He missed with his 5th pitch to Howard, but that one says it's right there, right at the knees. Should be a strikeout, but it continues the inning. A single and a walk now with a couple of runners on.
Got to bring Shane Victorino to the plate. JP Arencibi having an extended discussion with Alfonso Marquez. Getting some support from the manager. Victorino, soft out, switch hitter batting left-handed against John Roush. He's 4 for 10 against the Blue Jays reliever. Base hit left field. Corey Patterson's throw to the plate is offline. Tag safe. Upward. John Roush, he gets tossed, arguing right there, and now he comes back in and almost knocks John Farrell over. And Roush is livid. Questionable calls on Ryan Howard, and then the call at the plate, and Roush lost it. Farrell was headed out to argue the play at the plate with Marquez, but before he could get there, Roush was ejected.
He was going to go out there and argue the call and try and keep his pitcher in the ball game. And now decisions to who to bring into the game. They didn't have anybody warming up.
Chase Utley scores on Victorino's base hit to left. Sean Kemp has come out of the bullpen. A frustrating inning for sure for the Blue Jays. Ibanez is the scheduled hitter. Here's the throw from Patterson. Arencibi does a good job of diving back toward home plate, but you can see Utley beat the tag at home. And now, after the call, there's the slide across home plate. Arencibi had tagged him, but it appeared late, and here comes John Roush. continued the argument, and he has been thrown out and continues to get in the face of Alfonso Marquez. John Farrell had called for Sean Kemp to come into the game, and then he was making his way back toward the dugout. And then the exchange began again between Marquez, and you can see Farrell is leaving, and he's just got something to say, and I don't blame him. And Marquez is going to walk over, and then he throws him. And now the argument is on, and it's all about the entire sequence of pitches to Ryan Howard, and then the bang-bang call at home plate.
Yeah, the frustration of that right there, and then when he gets all up in his mug, he's not going to have any bit of that. It was the couple of pitches to Howard that just missed, then the play at the plate. The replay showed that Chase Utley got in there safe, but you got to stick up for your players.
And it becomes a point of frustration. John Roush had made a couple of real good pitches to Ryan Howard, and looked like he had him out on two different pitches. It ends up that he was walked, Howard, and then Victorino delivers a base hit, and the frustration of the entire inning was too much for Roush, and ultimately for John Farrell as well.
And I think for John, maybe the frustration over the last couple of days here against the Phillies. They had a chance to win the game yesterday, gave up the lead late and lost that one, was leading this game late and gave up the lead late against Halladay. So frustration showing in the manager.
Rapuano is the crew chief. He is over talking to a police officer in front of the dugout, and they're talking about some debris that's been thrown on the field. The grounds crew is trying to pick it up, but there's no reason for concern over this. This happens in every ballpark in the country. So Rapuano making a point of the debris on the field. The grounds crew has cleaned things up.
Here's that last pitch that we were talking about. It looked like it was a pitch high enough and over the plate. Cutter on the back door. And if it gets any part of that strike zone, it should be a strike. Frustration for John Roush. He shows it right there. What compounded it then was the base hit by Victorino in the bang-bang play at the plate. And then everybody let loose.
Well, and the one thing, too, John Roush is a pitcher. He sets up pitches. He made a pitch he wanted 2-2, and then he came back and made a 3-2 pitch and looked like he had gotten out of the inning. The Phillies have taken a 2-run lead here with a run here in the ninth.
Perhaps he wanted just one of those pitches. The 2-2 pitch was just off the plate, but that 3-2 looked like it was there.
He's a strike thrower.
Yep.
And he's all about setting up hitters for different pitches, and he made that pitch with the breaking ball and looked like he threw strike 3. All the while, Roy Halladay sitting on the Phillies bench. It's been a while since we've had this kind of emotion at Rogers Center.
Fans are into it. Players are into it.
Another look at the play at the plate on a close play. The tag by Aaron Sebia.
And just before that tag, it looked like Utley got his shoe top right over the inside part of home plate. The throw took Aaron Sebia towards first base. And that opened up just enough room for Utley to slide in there. JP
did a pretty good job of taking the throw that was offline and making it close Patterson actually got a lot on the throw. It was just a tad offline. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, 2 on. Phillies up by 2.
Every pitch, the fans are letting the home plate umpire know it.
There's his strike. Three and two outs, 2 runners on. They'll be off on the pitch. Howard from second, Victorino from first. There they go. Ground ball to second. Ibanez is out. The Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the ninth. Roy Halladay with a 2-run lead will pitch for the complete game. The Blue Jays hope to mount a comeback. $44,000 on hand, and they had an exciting ninth inning. John Roush, after getting a couple of close calls going against him, and then the bang-bang play at the plate.
And it takes 4 of them to keep him off, or that suspension right there. Roush throws off the jersey. He's done.
Edwin Encarnacion trying to mount a rally against Roy Halladay here in the ninth. Edwin 0 for 3. Encarnacion, Aaron Sebia, Corey Patterson, the scheduled hitters here in the ninth. There's a base hit to center field. Pitching for the complete game. Since July 2nd, 2001, he has 61 complete games, 28 more than Levan Hernandez and 30 more than CC Sabathia.
That was the day that he was called back up from the minor leagues 10 years ago. And he is looking for his 6th complete game this year.
J.P. Aaron Sebia has some power. 12 home runs.
That's why that run in the top of the inning was such a huge run for the Phillies. A bloop and a blast would have won it. Now it can only tie.
0-2. Corey Patterson on deck. and missed. Aaron Seabius strikes out.
That's what makes him so tough. He's got so many different ways to get you out. If he pounds you with that cutter, he can then go back to his curveball. Something that he is using a little bit more this year to pick up the strikeout. That one down and away from J.P. Arencibia. 8 strikeouts now for Halladay.
Corey Patterson, that's with 1 out.
When Patterson first came back up this year, you did a little thing looking at some of the numbers that Patterson has had against good hitters, good pitchers. His numbers against Roy Halladay are outstanding.
Bouncing ball. This could do it. Rollins to second, pull 1, back to first, and the Phillies win. Roy Halladay with the complete game victory. He gave up 3 runs on 8 hits. But the Phillies scored runs late in the ball game for a second consecutive game.
Got a little rough out of the box was Halladay. He threw 21 pitches in the first inning, settled down, and then got a lot of ground ball outs. When he's on, he'll get twice as many ground ball outs, and he got a big one there to end this ball game. Double play, he'll pick up his 6th complete game of the